Shannon O'Dunn. Revenue increases for parking fees is a suggested way of raising revenue and to beautify the city of La Mesa. What projects would this fund if you raise parking revenues? What would you do with that money?
Well, I don't think we should raise parking revenues. If we're talking about metered parking in the city of La Mesa, that's absolutely the worst way to collect money and do any kind of improvement. It makes people angry, it's unfair in many respects, it requires staff to maintain, and the machines themselves are expensive. What I think we need to do is take an entirely different look, and I'm talking about the village now because that's where the meters are. We need a parking structure. The city has the land. We need a place where people can go, park safely, and when they leave, pay for what they used, and not end up in the situation of getting a ticket. If you do build a parking structure, here's, as we did as joint powers with Grossmont Center, what, 30 years ago? We just paid off that bond a couple of years ago, the lease revenue bond. If you do that, understand that the monies that are collected are pretty well going to have to pay for that parking structure, because parking structure maintenance and security is costly enough that it won't necessarily generate net revenue, but I believe it will bring people to our city who can enjoy, walk around, not have the horrors of a ticket, the stress of wondering what's going on with that, overfeeding the meter like I always do, just to be secure. So I have a different view on that than where it should go.
Well, first of all, I think that we pay too much now for the parking fee. Businesses downtown, they want to survive. And when you have to worry about the parking fee running back and forth, that hinders the consumer to stay in the business and look around a little longer, or to dine a little longer. As far as the money that's going into the parking meters, right now we have about $1 million in the parking meter that has accrued. And I think that the city council passed a resolution that that money that is generated in the parking meters would stay downtown in different projects. Right now, the streetscape is, construction of the streetscape is one of our projects that we're keen on, and that money would be used at that time for that. So money generated should stay where it's generated, is the way it is right now as far as council policy.
Question once again.
Sure. Revenues from increased parking fees have been suggested to beautify the Mesa. What projects would you use this money for?
Hypothetically, if parking fees were to increase, I agree that they should stay downtown and be used towards projects that are in that area, whether it's a streetscape or any other improvements. I don't think that you should increase the parking fees as it stands. I got a parking ticket the other day. That's a hefty fee. But I don't think we need to, but I do believe that where the parking meters are, that revenue should be used towards that area.
Thank you.
Let's check. Thank you. I think it was smart that the council designated that money from the parking fees would go into capital improvement funds, because I like the fact that they can build up a little reserve to do the big projects that we need to do. We want to build up the downtown and make it a sustainable, vibrant, prosperous part of town. And I think one of the ways that we really should do that is by looking at more of the mixed-use development projects, where we bring people that live down there next to the trolley, downtown on the transit corridors, that are going to want to bike and walk and take the trolley, because they're going to stay here. They're not, 85 cents out of every dollar we put in our cars leaves. It's gone. 85 cents of every dollar you put into the trolley, that stays here. That's what we want. That could be an economic driver for the long term. I think that we can look at making sure that people can drive here, that they have the option. That I don't want to take that away, but I also want to give the option to people that want to take other choices, to be able to walk or bike or take the trolley. And I think that parking fees and paying the meter is kind of just a fact of life. You know, I think it's paying your fair share. We're all working together on this, and we can find ways to fund government. It's awfully hard to find them. And if you want to park downtown, you can walk a little bit and not pay the meter fee, or pay a little bit and pitch in.
I am a parking commissioner. I've been on the parking commission starting 4 years of this coming up. And right now, the parking fees, I think, were the worst of all worlds. Parking meter already collects over $300,000 a year. We have probably close to $1.2 million in the downtown parking fund. In the 3.5 years that I've been there, I've seen us slurry the parking lot. I've seen us paint 5 meters red. We invested more money in more meters, but we didn't do anything to. The sticker on the meter says your downtown fees fund your parking fees fund downtown improvements. So my office is right in the downtown area, right in Mesa Village. And since 2007, I've watched stores open, shut their doors, places going out of business. I've seen so much trash and litter on our streets. I've seen stained sidewalks. At Christmas time, we always have these beautiful white lights in our trees, which really makes this enchanting experience. So for me to be on the parking commission, and the reason I joined is because I thought, my goodness, that is so much revenue being generated by those meters. How wonderful if we invested that parking meter money, turned the village into this charming place that brought in shoppers, brought in diners, saved some of these small businesses that went under, but we don't. And it just sits there, and if we raised the parking fees and still did nothing with it, again, it's the worst of all worlds. I saw a picture once of Tom Cruise having a temper tantrum because he had a parking ticket. And if that guy hasn't fit with a parking ticket, imagine the average person getting stuck with a $45 ticket.